It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you so much for joining us. I am your host, Kevin McIntosh. Now, starting off today, plenty to talk about, but West Bloomfield Police have announced a change in leadership. Zena Daly has now been named their new Community Relations Officer, and she is not new to West Bloomfield or the department. She's actually served for 16 years. So she knows the greater West Bloomfield area like the back of her hand. And in a post from the West Bloomfield Police Department on Facebook, they said, quote, Officer Daly is eager to deepen her engagement with our great community. Please join us in extending a warm welcome to her when you see her around, end quote. Very deserving. If you're watching on CivicCenterTV.com, you can see the photos of her, Officer Daly. When you do see her, make sure you say congratulations again. And you can see that on Facebook and say it yourself. Facebook at West Bloomfield PD as well. Speaking of people who actually serve our community, serve in our country, I should say, Sylvan's veterans got a chance to enjoy the sunshine and sun, and with great conversation as well. So, a part of their monthly Sylvan Lake Veterans Meetup that actually recently happened. You're seeing the photos from the group on CivicCenterTV.com. This time, coffee and conversation with the groups that was hosted by Lauren and Sharon Marina. We want to thank them for actually hosting and giving the hospitality to our veterans on this monthly event. Stay tuned for more information on their September coffee event, which will be happening at Evolve Juice. And of course, all Lake area veterans are welcome. So if you are a veteran or you know someone who's a veteran, please let them know that this space is open for them to join as well. So great to see them back outside after a rainy July event as well. Speaking of different things to do for us, I love to talk about things for us to do to get us out of the house and enjoy our community. Lots of fun coming up in the Tri-Cities as we head towards the weekend. And it all begins tonight, Thursday, August 15th. In the prettiest little city in Michigan. Sylvan Lake is holding one of its longest standing traditions, the Ice Cream Social. It'll be from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Community Center. If you're looking on Civic Center TV, per usual, great treats, great engagement with the community as well. $2. Get you a plate with your favorite treats and some creamy, cold, delicious ice cream. And there's plenty of outdoor games, by the way, not just indoors. We're going to have you enjoy the outdoors with the kids, get them outdoors so they can use all of their energy. Magic tricks and magic shows will be out there as well. Just go out there and enjoy it and learn a little bit about Sylvan Lake history as well. Find out more directly on the website as well, sylvanlake.org, for everything that you want to know. Continuously to get you updated with things that's happening outside. The final Keego Harbor Block Party of the summer will be happening Friday night, August 16th. And that will be at the Rose Sorter Park, by the way, 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. As soon as you get off work, go home, get changed, and head out to Rose Sorter Park so you can enjoy great music, by the way, live performance from the Dudes Party Time Band. We are expecting a great time with them, as a matter of fact, at Rose Sorter Park. And of course, we can't have a great time without food also. Bueno Tacos, and of course, art from Art Sale. Different things, different experiences for us to enjoy. Visual art, audio art as well. But it's all happening at Rose Sorter Park. Keego Harbor's final block party of the summer. For more information, go to their Facebook. It's a lot easier. KH Parks on Facebook for more information. Now, as we transition slowly into the fall season, the tail end of the summer, we know it is football season. It's officially underway right now. Your WB Lakers have officially wrapped up their training camp as they set their goals set for August 29th kickoff against Chippewa Valley. Coming for you. And I actually had a chance to go out to the swamp to see all of their special training in action. West Bloomfield High School's football team kicks off the new season with a special lock-in event. It's more than just a night of bonding. It's the start of their journey to a state championship, starting with the OAA Red Division, one of Michigan's toughest football divisions, which West Bloomfield is the preseason favorite to win.
And first and foremost, it's humble to be recognized as one of the top teams in our league. And to keep that, obviously, you got to put the work in. Going back to work where it starts in the weight room, being strong, being able to move guys in this strong, powerful conference, and then translating that over to the field. Got to move guys in between those lines and be powerful while doing that.
But until it's time to hit that gridiron, the coach's plan is to lock in with a school lock-in event.
Oh, the lock-in's been pretty good so far. We got here Sunday evening, 8 o'clock was check-in time. Everybody was here on time. Got a set of rules, regulations, and stuff for the kids to follow. So we've been getting up right around 5:30 every day in the morning for 6 a.m. team run. So we did some competitive drills yesterday where the defense actually won, so we did not have to get up for the AM run this morning. But some of the guys still chose to go out there and get some extra reps, and that's kind of what we expect as the leaders of our team, being defensive guys, is to try to get extra reps whenever we can. Team camp is going perfect, though. A lot of work. We're kind of spooling up to getting into a little bit of tackling, which we're going to do tomorrow when we get put on the shoulder pass. So we're looking forward to that. We're looking forward to getting some thug going. The anticipation is looming. Everybody's talking smack to one another, so I'm looking forward to it.
And the players have shown they are just as eager, sharing some of their personal goals for the season, as well as how they believe the lock-in event fosters team unity.
I feel like the lock-in is helping us build strength and mindset together. I feel like that is helping my teammates and everybody just come together and be stronger mentally and physically. And also I feel like it's bringing like a friendship and a bond to the team. As like, you know, we sleep together in a gym and we live together, going through all the trials and tribulations of like being tired, being like sore, and just outside being in the hot, running around.
Being in tense situations with your teammates can build camaraderie, but contrary to popular belief, the workouts haven't been the hardest part of the camp.
Hardest part probably is the sleep. The sleep, man. We got air mattresses or whatever, but it's hard to sleep on the air mattress in the gym where it's actually really cold in the gym, if I'm gonna be honest, but it's hard to sleep with an air mattress in the gym with 100 people around you. You don't know, everybody up, we up late and all that, you know how it gets, man.
Even though their sleeping arrangements aren't as luxurious and comfortable as they're used to, the student athletes still find a way to make the best of their situation.
Best part, I would say, building a bond with the guys, for sure. Building a relationship with the team, kind of just being in here with everybody, practicing 2 times a day, and just, you know, having a good time, working out, all that on the field. And then, I mean, it's really no bad parts. We get to be here, maybe just the 2 practices, but it's really nothing that we haven't done before, yeah.
As the day winds down, West Bloomfield's football team is more united and prepared than ever. With the season ahead, they're ready to tackle the competition and live up to their preseason ranking. And once again, I want to thank Coach Hilbers, Coach Ron, Coach Sled for inviting me, letting me come in, actually be a part of one of the last days of their lock-in. I was looking into the boys' eyes. They were having a lot of fun, but it was a lot of hard work going on. You can smell the hard work right there, too. But when the season kicks off August 29th against Chippewa Valley, Civic Center TV will be there. Pre-game coverage, live coverage of the game, post-game coverage as well. We'll have it covered on all of our social media as well as the school district social media as well. If you want to get ahead of the curve, you're watching on Civic Center TV, you can scan our QR code with your smartphone right now to take you to all of our social medias. Keep you updated on everything West Bloomfield Lakers football as the season goes in. We're going to try to have those away games, but we will for sure have those home games for you. CivicCenterTV.com as well. Now, going from high school to college is a transition in itself, but making a transition a little bit easier at Oakland Community College, they have a few different changes going on that we believe will be extremely beneficial for students and the community in general. So with us right here live on The Splash, talk a little bit more about what's going on at Oakland Community College. We have the Chancellor, Peter M. Provenzano, which we want to thank you for being here first and foremost. And can you just tell us a little bit more about the role that OCC is playing in helping student debt relief?
Good morning, Kevin. Pleasure to be on your show again. I appreciate you having me. this debt relief program that the county has made available to Oakland County residents is really quite phenomenal. What it does is they've fronted the cost to contract with a company that will sit down with Oakland County residents to consult with them, to understand their college debt, to look at ways they may be able to refinance that debt, or there's a lot of debt relief that's out there that's very complicated. And so this consulting firm will help with our
Yeah.
residents. And it's really coupled with the work that OCC is doing is really going to help move the needle for Oakland County residents, because Oakland Community College, as you know, is focused
Yep.
on helping students with a quality education, and in a way where they do not have to take out all of that debt. There's so much in the way of free community college tuition that's available at OCC. Most recently, the state of Michigan announced that you can go to Oakland Community College for free if you're a recent graduate under the community college guarantee. Prior to that, we had a program called Michigan Reconnect for adults to return back to college and receive their community college degree certificate credential for free. And this is really helping to move the needle and get the message out that you can receive a very high quality education, and it does not have to be expensive. The majority of our students are coming to us for free, very or little to no debt. So it's really quite exciting to partner with the county on this.
We love to see and know about these types of resources. You already touched on a bunch of different things I want to dive into a little bit more, but I appreciate that more than anything. Another thing I want to kind of get into is a partnership that you all have. Oakland Community College and Oakland University partnering to provide student housing for OCC students at Oakland University starting in the fall. Can you just give a little bit more information on what was the motivation behind this partnership?
We're very excited about this partnership. I love that picture that you had come up, and it's a great example of the fact that this is a win-win for both organizations as well as our students. We are the #1 transfer institution. We have more students that transfer from OCC to OU than any other community college in the state of Michigan. And that is one of the reasons why we have such a close partnership with Oakland University. They absolutely love our students, and because
sense.
they are so prepared, they know that when OCC students come to OU, they're more likely to be successful and graduate. And so they work really hard at OU to create these seamless transitions, these seamless transfer partnerships between the two schools. And there's a lot of students that take advantage of coming to OCC, receiving their associate's degree, and then seamlessly transferring to OU. But this most recent announcement is really sort of, in my mind, like the cherry on top of the sundae. It takes things a step further,
Okay.
which allows our students at OCC who are looking for that campus experience to live on OU's campus. So they have the best of both worlds. They have the
Yep.
quality education at a fraction of the cost, maybe even free, by attending OCC. But then they also have the ability to live at Oakland University's dorms, and they have the ability to enjoy all of the amazing activities that are happening at OU, enjoy the facilities, utilize the facilities, and they're practically across the street from our Auburn Hills campus. So we're really excited about this. The demand has been pretty good. We just announced it maybe a couple months ago, and we anticipate for the fall, which is really a pilot, we anticipate probably 70 students to take advantage of this opportunity. And I think that it's going to grow from there. So we're really very excited.
Nice. And that's what you want. You want students to take advantage of it. You want to see it. That was a great turnout. People enjoy it. And the transition is just that much easier. And that's just proven success right there. So I would 100% agree. As a former undergrad college student living on campus, I already know how that enhances your college experience in general. But with us right here live on The Splash, we have Chancellor for Oakland Community College, Peter Provenzano Jr., just talking about the partnership with Oakland University, college debt relief, and things of that nature overall. So how do you see programs like the Michigan Reconnect program that you mentioned, as well as that new community college guarantee? How do you see that actually helping and enhancing and transforming the lives of adults who are going back to school?
We're seeing it transform the lives of adults already. So Michigan Reconnect was announced back in 2001, like February of 2001. We've seen over 5,000 students come to OCC to get back on their educational journey. So they may have stopped out, life happens, and they decided to come back to OCC to obtain their degree, credential, certificate. And these free tuition programs, I think, are going a long way to encourage students to come back. And I think it's also creating awareness, and interviews
Yes.
like this creates awareness because I have students come to me all the time at all ages, and as they get a little bit older, and I'm talking even 25 years old, 30 years old, they falsely believe that it's too late for them to come back to school, that their time has passed. And that there's
Yeah.
nothing further from the truth. It's never too late to come back to school. And these programs and this awareness about community colleges, I think, are helping those adult students recognize that they can come back to school. And they're a little bit intimidated because many times they have families, they're raising their families, they're working full time,
Mm-hmm.
and life
Mm-hmm.
can be complicated. It can be very difficult to go to school while you're raising a family and working full time. But the thing that I want people in the community to know is that's what OCC specializes in. We're very different than a typical university where our typical student is working full time. Over 75% of our students work full time and
Mm.
attend school. So this is what we specialize in. Our instructors know that. We understand that we need to be more flexible to provide the right student support for our students so that they
Yep.
can complete and succeed. In fact, our instructors, one of the things I tell people all the time is our instructors, because we're not a research university, our instructors are at OCC because they love to teach. They love students. And I think that really shows in the classroom. And so we encourage students, especially our adult students, to get to know your instructor, communicate with them on a regular basis, take advantage of all of the support services that we have. We have counseling and advising to
Mm-hmm.
help you with, class scheduling and mental health. But also we have tutors, free tutoring services available, and an academic support center at our campuses, as well as our online campus to take advantage of. So it's never too late to get back to come back to school, and you're never too old
Yep.
to come to OCC.
Yes, yes. I'm so glad that you painted that picture and talked about that because it is a challenge kind of returning back to school, especially after you've taken a break, especially after you may have went to school in one decade and then you're in a completely different decade. Mindset is different, technology is different. So I completely understand that. And I want to kind of get into that a little bit more if you don't mind. You spoke about flexibility that Oakland Community College has and adult learners and returning to school and things of that nature. Can you just speak a little bit more into the flexibility that Oakland Community College has for your adult learners, especially in the sense of the different challenges that they have faced as adults now returning back to school?
Well, when you talk about flexibility, the one thing that we hear from, especially really all of our students, but especially our adult learners, is they love
Hmm.
our online campus, our online classes that we offer.
There you
The
go.
demand for these have been so great that over 50% of our classes are actually offered online now, and it's growing. And our students love
Mm.
that
Mm.
flexibility. And what do I mean by that? As I mentioned, 75% of them are working full time. And so there may not be a
Right.
class that's being offered at the time that they may be able to attend that class. But with the online classes, they might be able to take that class on a Saturday or a Sunday or in the evening.
Yeah.
They might work the night
Hmm.
shift, right,
Hmm.
or the day shift. And so they love the flexibility of those online classes as well as the online services. You have access to all
Yeah.
of the services that we have available to our students on the campus. They're also available online. And so students love that flexibility. And what we're seeing is that there are students that take classes. Their classes are 100% online, some that are 100% in person, just based on their needs and their desire and what works for their schedule and their learning. But what the vast majority of our students, like 80% of our students, take a combination of both in person and online because they're able to tailor a class schedule that meets their needs, right? So, what do I mean by that? Oftentimes, students might want to take a science class or a more difficult math class in person, but their English class, maybe they're really strong in English and they're happy with an online English class, and so they mix and match these, which really helps provide the flexibility that they need to succeed and to take more classes. And that's key because the more classes students take, the faster they finish. And like anything in life, the faster you finish, the more likely it is that you will finish. And we really believe that this flexibility is key to the future of our residents.
And I love that. I love that. I love that that's all being considered also, especially for our adults right here in Oakland County. We appreciate your time. Before we let you go, Chancellor, any last words, messages for the community in regards to any of your programs or what you have going on at Oakland Community College?
We continue to invest in our online campuses as well as our physical campuses. We have a brand new Culinary Institute that's coming to Royal Oak, 78,000 square feet. Super excited about that. Brand new renovation we're doing at our Farmington Hills campus for health sciences. So all of our nursing and all of the health sciences will be in one location, and then they'll be practicing in a hospital type environment. And then public safety, huge demand for public safety training. We're expanding that. In fact, what I always like to say is when you call 911 in Oakland County, chances are that either the dispatcher, the EMS that respond, firefighter, police officer, maybe the nurse in the hospital, they were all trained by OCC. So with all of the free tuition that's available out there, there's never been a better time to go back to school and come to OCC.
Hey, I love that so much. Take pride in that, man. I love it so much. We appreciate your time and your information again. Once again, from Oakland Community College, Chancellor Peter Provenzano, we appreciate your time, sir.
Appreciate you.
Great information about resources available and the changes that are being made at Oakland Community College. I want to thank the Chancellor again for his time. You want to find out more information about what we did discuss, go to oaklandcc.edu. Of course, you can watch that entire interview again on our website, civiccentertv.com. Click on the On Demand tab. Now, before our children, students become high school athletes and even get into college, they are babies in early education. So the West Bloomfield Preschool Academy actually just recently started a podcast with some great information. And we actually want to talk about that podcast in the first episode being Preparing for First Day of School. So join us on the Splash Live. We have the host and guests from that first episode, which will be Colette Gostencourt, Early Childhood Accounting Administrative Assistant. We have Sarah McDowell, Coordinator for Early Childhood and School-Age Childcare, as well as Chanley Patricus, GSRP Lead Teacher. Thank you all for being here first and foremost.
Thank you for having us. It's an honor.
I listen to the podcast. I have 1,000 questions right here, but I know we only have so much time. So let's just get into it. Starting with you, Colette, if you don't mind. You mentioned filling out these important forms to kind of start the school year off. Let's get into that. How can parents avoid some of these common mistakes to make a smooth transition into the school year?
Talk to their department, talk to their school, go online, wbsd.org. It's a wonderful site, wonderful resources. Or email for preschool, we have WBPA. .org at WBSD, right?
WBPA at WBSD.org.
Yeah. There we go.
Got you. One central place for a lot of the resources, like you were talking about, a lot of different health forms and important forms just to start off the school year. So go there, find out the resources, what you need, get those filled out as soon as possible. Moving on to you, Sarah. What are some of the key benefits that people should be aware of not only attending the school's open house, but how it sets a tone for a successful school year?
Absolutely. So we have a lot of different programs, especially our GSRP program. We want to make those connections with our families at the beginning of the year, right? It's only going to benefit your child on their first day with that transition coming in. It's hard for a 3 or 4-year-old to come in and leave their parents for the first time. So we want to make sure that they feel comfortable and confident coming to somebody that, they feel that they can trust. So coming to that open house, that meet and greet is so beneficial for them. Exploring the building, learning about our program, especially the parents. We want them to know about our curriculum as well. And we want to know what their child's going to be learning, right? So just making those connections and making it easier for the families and the children.
Great information. And let me just say this, as a parent of a small child, 2 going on 3 years old, we are starting to see the pandemic babies actually become in that, so you see what I'm talking about. They're going into that school year, entering school early education. So we're talking about an entirely different breed of interaction, social engagement, things of that nature. With you, Chanley, just asking you, what are some of your top tips for parents to ensure that their child is ready and excited for the first day of school?
So one of my biggest tips is take your kid to the store. Let them pick out these materials. I just went with my daughter the other day. She picked out a horsey backpack and she can't take it off. Let them be involved with it. Talk about it. Go to the school, peek in those windows, be involved with the teachers, email them, send them pictures of what you did over the summer, send them pictures of what your kid loves, because you are your child's first teacher. We don't know much about them. We're meeting them for the first time. We need you to help us get to know them and get them into the classroom and get them excited. But just when there's older siblings involved, that's really helpful too, because they see their older siblings go off before them, because West Bloomfield Preschool Academy, we start September 9th. So the rest of the district starts a little sooner.
Okay.
So they get to see their older siblings go to school and they're like, I want to go. So just talking about that transition and talking about how one day it was hard for them to once go to school for the first time, and now you're doing it.
Yeah.
So
Good point. Good point. I love the podcast, by the way. Like I said, somebody who has a very young child who will be going to school soon, I'm just listening to it like, that makes so much sense. But joining us right here on the Splash Live, we have early childhood educators from West Bloomfield School District, Colette Gostin-Kors, early childhood accounting administrative assistant Sarah McDowell, coordinator for early childhood and school-age child care, and Chanley Patricus, GSRP lead teacher. Now, getting to you, Colette, how do you feel like your role contributes to easing parents' stress during this busy time of year?
I just talk to them. I'm lucky I have that life experience and I'm a little older. So it comes natural because I love my families. We love our families.
Yeah.
I meant it when I said we want to be part of your village. So I don't know about easing, just wherever they want their child to be is where we want their child to be. It's not about WBPA, whoop, whoop, but it is about the child. And that will always be the case.
Get it. And thank you for that. One of the things that you said that I want to talk about real quick is you mentioned the sleep that they should get at certain ages and how they should get, I think you said 13 or 14 with certain age groups. Can you break that down again for us? Because that was very mind-blowing for me.
Yeah, 13 to 14 hours, including naps for infant to preschool. And then middle school, I believe, was 6 to 9. And then high school was maybe 6 to 8. And it is really important. Mainly, let's put it out there, our middle and high schoolers don't sleep like they should. And I'm very proud of West Bloomfield School District. A couple years back, made this start a little later out of respect for that need.
Interesting. Okay. And like I said, when I listened to that, I was like, well, I have to get my son on that schedule with napping and stuff like that. He'll be up all day and then fall asleep maybe 9, 10, because sometimes until midnight. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta work. But anyway, so Sarah, I want to ask you, Sarah, about these children that we're talking about early education. Like we said, they may be feeling a lot of emotion separating from their parent and going to meet new kids. How does your team support children who may feel anxious or nervous about starting school?
Yeah, absolutely. So all of our, and I can say this with full confidence, that all of our teachers, or most of our teachers, are certified in early childhood education, or they have their degree. So they're very knowledgeable about early childhood, what children need to succeed, and helping with those transitions. So I'm sure, as you know, with early childhood educators, they're very, very loving and warm, and they know how to kind of ease a child into that transition on the first day, or even in the middle of school when they're having maybe a hard day or a hard time. So we use different strategies depending on the child. We go based off the individual child.
Good.
So if that child's having separation anxiety, our teachers know how to handle that. Another thing that we love to do is we do morning message in the morning every morning, and we encourage those kids that might have that separation anxiety to have a job, right? So they can help with the morning message. They can read the morning message with the teacher. Again, it kind of helps them come back in and say, it's okay. Like school's fun. I remember school. We had the same daily routine every single day. And just being consistent with it is extremely helpful.
Good, good. I love the fact that you mentioned it's not a one-size-fits-all, one solution for everybody. We need to start understanding that different people handle things differently. So it's good to kind of tailor to that and have people who can actually have the time to actually do that and the effort. I know we're kind of pressed on time. Like I said, I have 1,000 questions here. But just for you, Chanley, for an example, for anyone watching, listening right now who may have a lot of questions about the upcoming school year or, things that's going on with the transition of their child coming to school, how could they get more questions or more information?
Call us. We are more than welcome, willing to help any family member that is struggling with this transition. Colette is so patient when families call and they're anxious. And Sarah and I are going through the same thing this year. We're both sending our babies to West Bloomfield Preschool Academy this year, and we are anxious about it as well. Even being in this role, that's still your baby. We know how it feels. And I think, for Sarah and I, that is a benefit of having children this age is we see what parents are going through. We're going through it at the same time as them. So we completely understand, and we are more than willing to comfort them.
I think that's more important to know, too, that you all have kids around that same age, too. That's very relieving for parents to know that you can actually relate to that. And lastly, before we get out of here, Colette, if you don't mind, the podcast. Just tell us a little bit more about it, how they can access it, and when we can expect new episodes.
We're going to do it monthly. The podcast is designed for families. We want to connect with our families. A school district isn't any good unless they're involved with the families.
Correct.
Again, that village. So you can go to WBSD.org. The podcast is there. Next month, we're going to talk about finding quiet and finding balance as you struggle to get rhythm with school and to give yourself the opportunity to step back and breathe. So we are going to have some counselors on and things like that. It's really exciting. It reflects what Chanley and Sarah want to do.
Right. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. Like I said, I listened to it before, and I was just listening to it again right before we got here. I'm like, this is some very good information for very new parents, especially of these pandemic babies that are coming of age. But thank you all again for your time, for your information. Once again, Colette Gostencourt, Early Childhood Accounting Administrative Assistant, Sarah McDowell, Coordinator for Early Childhood and School-Age Child Care, and Chanley Patricus, GSRP Lead Teacher. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Nailed the names. Thank you all again. That will I highly encourage, if you are a new parent of a child entering early childhood, check out the podcast. Check out all the information to get your child ready. WBSD.org. We'll have a lot more information talking about stars and looking up and things of that nature, but we'll explain that later. We are live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Find local municipal meetings at our program schedule on CivicCenterTV.com. Find when your meetings air live or when they're replaying on our Civic Center TV live stream. Find it all at CivicCenterTV.com and click Schedule at the top of the screen.
Hi, I'm Chris Fry, Park Superintendent, West Bloomfield Parks. Congratulations, Civic Center TV, on 1 million views on YouTube. Thank you for all you do in the community, and thank you for having me on The Splash throughout the season to talk about activities out in the parks. Chris Fry, proud to be 1 in a million.
And now, back to The Splash Live.
Live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Kevin McIntosh. A collaborative event between Keego Harbor Parks and Rec and the Oakland Astronomy Club will be taking place next Friday evening in Rose Sorter Park 8:30 to 11:30 p.m. It's called Astronomy in the Park. Very, very interesting. And here to tell us more about this incredible event, we have the president of the Oakland Astronomy Club, Gary Dietz, as well as chairperson of the Keego Harbor Parks and Rec Committee, Kirsten Sonneville Douglas. Thank you both for being here.
Yes.
Getting straight to it, I have always been fascinated by stars. So I want to break down from your both different perspectives about this event. First and foremost, starting with you, Gary, why is it beneficial for the Oakland Astronomy Club to partner with Keego Harbor Parks and Rec for this event?
Well, I think it's great to just promote STEM and astronomy for the public, and just to help them to learn a little bit more about the night sky and some of the objects that we pretty much take for granted most of the time when we're looking up at the sky.
Yes, yes, I can agree with that. There's a lot more to the science and the aesthetics of what we're looking at when we look outside. And for you, Kirsten, basically the same thing from a Keego Harbor Parks and Rec perspective. Why is it important for you all to collaborate with the Oakland Astronomy Club?
It was part of the Keego Connect project that I wanted to bring to Parks and Rec in Keego Harbor, right? Connecting our community, activating our parks. I met the club at another event, and my son is a enthusiast. So when I got the newsletter, I was like, this is one that we need to partner with, and I'm so thankful that they are coming to our parks.
Nice, nice. So like I said, I've always been fascinated with stars, just looking. I even had a telescope when I was younger. Don't think I used it correctly. Don't even know what if I was looking at. But for you, Gary, can you share some insights on the celestial objects that we could possibly see during this event?
Absolutely. We'll probably start the evening out, if we're lucky. Sunsets around 8:45 that evening, but we may get a little bit of an opportunity to look at the sun, even with a solar filter on one of our telescopes. And then after that, a little bit later in the evening as it gets dark, we plan on looking at the typical 6 objects that we like to look at and show to our groups, which are constellations, planets, galaxies, nebula, star clusters, and double stars. And so we're hoping that we're going to have clear enough skies that we can get a look at least one of all of those different kinds of objects in the sky.
Sheesh. Wow, that was, I was just expecting stars. You really went there, Gary. Okay, join us right here live on The Splash. President of the Oakland Astronomy Club, the expert, like we have him, Gary Dietz, as well as chairperson for Keego Harbor Parks and Rec, Kirsten Sonneville Douglas. So for you, Kirsten, kind of putting this event together, can you just talk about any challenges that you may have overcome with organizing an event like this to get the community together, especially during the times outside at night with possible weather conditions?
Weather is going to be the big one, and I have no control over that one.
Correct.
So that one we're just not going to talk about.
Right.
But light pollution, right? We are in an urban area, or not urban area, we're in the suburbs.
Right.
So light pollution is huge. And so I know that Gary and one of our other commissioners, Jackie, walked some of the parks to see if it was dark enough for us to be able to see that. And then parking, we are a small little city. We have so many parks, but parking is always an issue.
That's a great, great, great point, as a matter of fact. And as a matter of fact, Gary, I want you to piggyback off of that too. Can you just talk about the difference that it makes with the location that you try to look at the stars? A lot of people think you could just look up and see the stars and they'll look the same anywhere. But can you just talk about the difference that the location makes?
Absolutely. I mean, typically the best locations are, like, I am actually up north right now near Sleeping Bear Dunes, and it's darker skies up here. There's fewer big cities with lots of lights, and it gets even better when you're maybe in the southwestern United States, Arizona, New Mexico, Southern California.
Really?
Again, you have dry skies, so there's not a lot of moisture in it, as well as the fact that there's not a lot of city lights. And so you won't be able to see some of the fainter objects in the sky, some of these deep sky objects that we hope to see on the 23rd when we're in Keego Harbor. You just can't see some of those when you have too much light pollution, which you get in the cities. Our observatory for our club is actually in Addison Oaks County Park, which is about 10 miles north of Rochester, and in a little bit darker area. So you have a little bit better conditions there than you would in the city. So.
Yeah, I've noticed that also. When I look at the sky when I'm at home in the city area, as opposed to when I go to like my grandma's home who stays in the country. It looks more vivid. It's like the stars and space in 4K. So I'm glad you actually made sense of that also. Know we're running low on time, so we want to thank both of you all for being here. Kirsten, just lastly, more information in regards to this specific event and how people can become part of it.
They can check out the city website at keegoharbor.org or check out our Facebook page, which is Facebook.com/KH Parks.
Perfect. At KH Parks on Facebook for more information. We want to thank you both again for being here, giving us your expertise and information. Once again, Gary Dietz, president of the Oakland Astronomy Club, as well as Kirsten Sonneville Douglas, chairperson, Keego Harbor Parks and Rec. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Love talking about, I could talk about stars and things of that nature all day too. I got a lot of different questions. But like we said, great event that will be happening right here in our local community. Once again, next Friday, Rose Sorter Park, 8:30 to 11:30 p.m. Find out more on the Facebook, KH Parks on Facebook. We're going to continue to keep you updated with things going on and movers and shakers in our own Greater West Bloomfield community doing international things. We are live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. Find local municipal meetings at our program schedule on civiccentertv.com. Find when your meetings air live or when they're replaying on our Civic Center TV live stream. Find it all at civiccentertv.com and click schedule at the top of the screen.
I'm Gina Gregory, president of the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. I'm excited that Civic Center TV has reached 1 million views on YouTube. Congratulations. That's just terrific. We appreciate everything Civic Center does for the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society and the community. For us, they promote and highlight our events. It's awesome to have them available 24/7 on YouTube. I'm Gina Gregory and proud to be one in a million.
Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Find us on Instagram at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to the Splash Live.
Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, Kevin McIntosh. And as the Paralympics follow up the Olympic Games in Paris, an international para-dance competition was actually brought here to Michigan. And actually there's a local dance couple who have been partners for 8 years, building a strong competitive dynamic and representing the top USA couple in Class 1. So with us right here live on the Splash, we have dance team leader Tamerlan Gadirov as well as Cheryl Angelelli, team captain. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Very, very exciting events that you all have been attending, representing for not only USA, but West Bloomfield specifically. So kind of starting off with you, Tamerlan, if you don't mind, how do you and Cheryl prepare mentally and physically for these major competitions like the World Para Dance Sport event?
Well, as we both like competitive, people, we always try to push each other and we always try to give ourselves like big challenges, which is like that big competition, which is first in United States. Mm-hmm. We had like a wheelchair competition in United States. Basically, we travel all over the countries and perform and compete with Cheryl and teach people. But this time was so exciting because it was in hometown and we was so excited to represent Michigan. Yep. We were so excited to represent West Bloomfield Studio, Fred Astaire. And we practice basically like every week. We should have more time to practice, but in some circumstances, like Cheryl is busy working, I do work also. That's why we try to find the time and practice together.
Nonetheless, you're still acknowledged for your hard work and your performance. I'm seeing right here, you both received a silver medal in international standard and a bronze medal in freestyle at the World Para Dance Sport competition that was held right here in Michigan. So getting to you, Cheryl, how does it feel to win those medals at this competition, and what does those achievements mean for you?
Well, like Tamerlan said, this one we compete a lot, but this one was really special because it was in our hometown, and it's always very exciting to go out on the dance floor and compete against the best. And we had some very tough competition and tough couples there, so we're very happy with our performance and our results at this competition for sure.
Nice, nice. But like we said, nonetheless, you earn those medals. You earn from your performance. And, not even getting first place, that just shows we just have to do a little bit more work, and that gives us motivation also. Getting first place, sometimes you don't even have motivation. So I completely understand. With us live right here on The Splash, we have team leader Tamerlan Gadirov from West Bloomfield Fred Astaire Dance Studio, as well as Cheryl Angelelli, dance team captain, just talking about their para dance competition, the games and different events that they've attended, and how it feels. Now, get into you, Tamerlan, and just, if you don't mind me asking, what's the most challenging aspect in competing in these multiple divisions?
Most challenging aspect is the different abilities of the dancers, which is usually for us it's a little bit difficult because Cheryl may tell you more information about that, but for us we always try to first of all we have to look great on the floor even without dancing, like representing ourselves. We have to perform correct, and then the next part is coming with the dancing way, because we try to always surprise audience or the judges or somebody else who watching us, like what we do and what we perform and representing. And basically, we try to always challenging ourselves, find the new ways to surprise people with the new tricks and movements. Yeah.
Nice. So Cheryl, did you want to piggyback off of what he said by any chance?
Yeah, so people I think were really blown away. They've never seen wheelchair ballroom dancing before, so it was a great opportunity for us to not only showcase our talents, but the talents of all these international couples that attended the event. We had people in wheelchair breakdancing, we had people doing hip hop, we had doing all styles of dance, and so I think people have a misconception of what wheelchair ballroom dancing is. It certainly is not Tamerlan dragging me around the dance floor. I'm an active participant. We do lifts. He lifts me in my wheelchair.
There you go.
So it is very competitive. It's very beautiful, very athletic, and very much a sport.
Yeah, once again, like I said, this is my first time even really learning about it, seeing the videos and things of that nature. But I love that this is out there. I love that we are actually, and that you are representing West Bloomfield in our local area in Michigan and things internationally also. I think that's very, very important. Kind of getting back to you, Cheryl, just talk about how your partnership, your two partnership with Tamerlan has evolved over 8 years.
Well, my background, I came from being a Paralympic swimmer. I competed for the U.S. Paralympic team and competed in 3 Paralympic games. And swimming is a very individual sport. So now to have to move to a different sport where I have to work with a partner, I couldn't have asked for a better partner in Tamerlan. Like you said, we're both competitive. We push each other. He pushes me to be better every single time we dance. He makes me pushes me out of my comfort zone. I wasn't really wanted to be a Latin dancer. He's got me dancing Latin. He's got me dancing standard.
Nice.
And it's very collaborative. He listens to my ideas. I listen to his ideas. He does most of the choreography, but it's very much a collaborative partnership and a friendship. And so I think that that's some of our chemistry that you see out on the dance floor, is that we have been together 8 years. We know each other, and that certainly helps.
Great, love that. And lastly, Cheryl, I do want to just ask you, for anyone who is interested in possibly pursuing a career in dance, what especially in the para dance competition, what advice would you give to them?
Yeah, so I'm the co-founder of Dance Mobility, and I co-founded it with Evan Mountain, who owns another Fred Astaire dance studio, and we do free monthly classes. So you can go to dancemobility.org and learn about our free classes. So if you're interested in learning, that is a great place to start to see if you like it, and you can go from there. But it's a free class offered through the RIM Foundation. So each month we do a group class, and it's, like I said, thanks to the grant we have from the RIM Foundation, it's free of charge. So it is the best way to get introduced to our sport.
Nice. Love that. Love that. And I'm sorry, we are running low on time, but we do appreciate both of you, and congratulations again. Thank you. Representing USA and West Bloomfield specifically. Once again, team leader, lead choreographer, and dance instructor, Tamerlan Gadirov from the Fred Astaire Dance Studios of West Bloomfield, along with team captain Cheryl Angelelli. Thank you for your time.
Well, thank you for inviting us. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Bringing the medals right here to our home in West Bloomfield. We love to see that, like we said, Tamerlan and Cheryl, as they go international to different events to represent. Now, we are talking about getting into the safety of local authorities and things of that nature. We actually received a few funds from our state government for the firefighter turnout gear, a program that actually benefited a lot of fire departments in Oakland and Macomb County. Join us right here on the Splash Live to talk a little bit more how West Bloomfield Township Fire Department has benefited from that. We have Fire Chief Greg Flynn. And first, Chief, thank you for being here. How will utilizing this new gear help our fire department enhance their readiness and safety?
Well, first and foremost, we want to thank our state representatives that put this package together, along with the Michigan Association of Fire Chiefs and the Michigan Professional Firefighters Union and all the stakeholder groups that were able to get this into the governor's budget for this year. You know, this budget item, this grant program, is going to help the fire service across the state of Michigan. And what it's really doing, Kevin, is it's providing a second set of fire gear to all of our firefighters. And the reason why that's important is because we know the amount of carcinogens or cancer-causing agents that can get onto fire gear during the fire suppression event, or during an electric vehicle fire, or any of the different hazards that they may go into, that there's smoke or off-gassing that happens during combustion. We're able to now put that turnout gear that's contaminated into a cleaning process, a decontamination process, and then immediately move into the fresh, clean gear, that second set of gear, and be ready to respond to the next incident.
Very interesting. Another aspect, as a regular resident of the community, you don't necessarily think about, but I'm glad you put it out there. So this kind of, my curious brain, Chief, just asking, if you are dealing with equipment that is filthy or has been contaminated, how are we washing of those, or how are we taking care of that before this grant?
Well, we've been very fortunate with the support of the community that all our stations are equipped with what's called an extractor. It's a very specialized piece of washing equipment that is designed for fire gear. One set of gear pretty much fits in it at a time, so both the bottoms, the pants, the turnout pants, and the turnout coat kind of take apart. And if I can just show you a little bit here, Kevin, I brought a coat up here with me. So, you know, many people are used to seeing this exterior part of fire gear, but inside is where the real magic happens. And there's different layers within the coat that provide both a thermal barrier, this kind of reflective here, and then there's also a water barrier that prevents all the water from coming down on the firefighters and then going through their gear. So we're preventing the water from coming in, which can also prevent the heat from coming in, so that we don't get the steam burns and all of the things that happen while your firefighters are inside there. That exterior barrier also protects the firefighters from snagging on things that may have fallen down or sharp edges, and protects them. So that fire gear really encapsulates the firefighter as they move through the fire environment, and really sets them up in the best position to extinguish the fire and more importantly even, find our residents, save lives, and make a true impact on the community.
Good point. Oh, I'm so glad you brought that perspective. Chief, join us right here on the Splash Live, by the way. Fire Chief for West Bloomfield Township Fire Department, Greg Flynn. The kid in me is curious about this, especially since you just showed that, if you're watching on Civic Center TV. So the inside lining of it, if you're battling a blaze and you have this hot coat on and it's already the summertime, does this type of equipment help keep them cool? This is just the kid in me just curious about it. Like, how does that help when they're in the hot sun outside but then battling a hot blaze at the same time?
Well, unfortunately, the equipment doesn't quite work as well in reverse. So that's why it's so important that our firefighters remain hydrated at the beginning of their shift, remain hydrated throughout. And then during a fire incident, Kevin, what we'll do is we cycle our firefighters out, usually timing them with the amount of air that they have in their SCBA, their self-contained breathing apparatus.
Okay.
So as they come out of the fire to get a fresh tank and new air, we do what's called rehab. And in that process, we take their vital signs, their blood pressure, their pulse, their respiratory rate, we log those, and then we're hydrating while we're doing a bottle switch out on that firefighter. So they'll take a brief rest. If the blaze is still going, we cycle the team through and re-equip them with fresh air, and back in they go well hydrated.
Okay. Thank you for answering that. Like I said, that should have been off the record. I should have just came up there and just talked to you personally, but I was curious about it. But thank you for explaining that. So I want to kind of get back into this situation. I believe we talked about a story where we had upgraded radio communication systems. Now we're talking about upgraded turnout gear. Can you just talk about how you see all of this actually benefiting and helping the response time for you all to get to emergencies?
Well, the gear side of things probably is less about the response time and more about the fire gear, for example, Kevin, when I started, to where the fire gear is today and the technology that's been integrated into the fire gear, the thermal barrier that's there, the amount of heat that fire gear is able to take before the firefighters start to feel that heat is just unbelievably improved. In fact, in some ways, Kevin, it can be a little bit dangerous because it can give firefighters a sense of protection that maybe is taking them into an even more dangerous area because they're not feeling the heat as much as they used to.
Wow.
So that is why we communicate. So the integration of the new upgrade with the radio system so that we can get better radio frequency penetration into structures, inside of structures, right? That gives us better intel from inside the fire environment that they can communicate out to the incident commander and advise them and give them a picture, if you will, of what's going on inside the structure so we can deploy additional hose lines, additional crews to get in there, cool the fire. And then even a more interesting step, and it sounds like I'm going to need to get you into our Fire Ops 101 program here in October. We're going to go up and they're going to ventilate the structure, which allows the heat to escape out the top of the structure and start to cool off the inside environment. So there's a lot of science behind what our firefighters do every single day, and we enhance that. I know you've had Captain Lakowski on the program. His division's in charge of making sure our team's up to date on the latest and greatest in training. And all of those things together, the comms, the gear, the training, really we wrap our arms around this community with safety and saving what's important to them, their pets, their belongings, and most importantly, their lives.
We appreciate that. And I would love that invitation. I got to make sure my schedule's good because I want to bring my son too. I think that'd be so nice. One of my close friends is a firefighter also in the local area. So thank you for that invitation and information, by the way, Chief. Don't want to hold you up too much longer, but one of the last questions, what can the community do to support the fire department and ensure firefighters have necessary resources to perform for their duties safely and effectively?
Kevin, the most important thing is that the community doesn't need us. Right? I just want to let that set for a second, that the community doesn't need us. Fire is everyone's fight, and fire prevention is the key that we never even start the fight, if you will. So making sure that you have working smoke alarms, testing those, having an escape plan with your family that you practice. And remember, we don't go to the street. We go to a safe spot away from where the trucks will be approaching. And really understanding that we don't leave items on the stove or in the oven unattended. And just really being smart around this time of year with your grills and making sure that they're cleaned and that there's not a pileup of grease and food debris at the bottom that can catch on fire and extend along the exterior of the house. So all of those things, Kevin, that's what the community can do to support their firefighters. Put us out of business, right? Put us out of work is really what we want the message to be.
I love it, and I know what you mean by that. I know what you mean. I don't know how people may take it, but essentially you're saying be careful. We don't want to have to call the fire department for those emergencies, so please be cautious. Hey, Chief, I appreciate your time. I know you're very, very busy, and I can ask 1,000 questions, but we appreciate your time and effort. Fire Chief, West Bloomfield Township Fire Department, Greg Flynn, thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Find out everything that the West Bloomfield Fire Department has going on their Facebook, WB Fire Department, for way more information. And you can recap that interview as well as other things on our website, civiccentertv.com. We are live, local, and social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.